Enjoy your last 30 seconds of thinking you've won, I whispered across the aisle as my brother Dominic adjusted his cufflinks, smirking like a man who'd already spent my company's corpse. The Honorable Judge Evelyn Reyes was halfway through granting the involuntary bankruptcy when her eyes snagged on the header of the petition. Her manicured finger froze midair. The entire courtroom felt it, the sudden drop in temperature when a predator realizes the prey has teeth. "Counsel," she said, voice low enough to slice glass, "approach." "Now." Dominic's lawyer scurried forward. Mine, Lauren Park, stayed seated beside me, calm as winter steel. I'd waited 8 years for this moment. 30 more seconds wouldn't kill me. Judge Reyes leaned in, whispering something that turned Dominic's attorney the color of old oatmeal. When she finally looked up, her gaze locked on me recognition, fury, and something close to awe. "Is this the same Vanguard Cyber Solutions that just landed the $212 million DARPA contract?" she asked the room, loud enough for the court reporter to flinch. "The one splashed across the cover of Defense News last Thursday?" Dominic's smirk cracked clean in half. "Because no, my family had no idea who I really was anymore. They still pictured Isabella Ricci, the quiet middle daughter who wasted her Stanford engineering degree tinkering in a rented storage unit instead of marrying the junior partner at Dad's private equity firm the way a proper Ricci did. Dad built shopping malls. Mom curated charity galas. Dominic was the golden heir apparent. Little Sophia had already secured a Vogue-featured wedding. And me? I was the embarrassment who thought firewalls could be a legacy. Dad's exact words the day I told him I was starting Vanguard Cybersecurity? "That's a hobby, Bella, not an empire. Come back when the hobby bankrupts you. We'll keep your room ready." I never went back. 7 brutal years of ramen, red-eye coding sessions, and contracts I clawed from the Pentagon with nothing but a laptop and spite. I filed everything under my married name, Isabella Vega, because the name Ricci came with too many expectations and zero belief. By year 6, Vanguard was the silent force shielding half the drone fleet from nation-state hackers. Last month, we signed the DARPA deal that turned us from scrappy survivor to untouchable. Forbes called us the most dangerous startup the public has never heard of. My family never connected the dots. Then 3 weeks ago, Dominic filed for involuntary bankruptcy against Vanguard Cyber Solutions, claiming I owed him $2.8 million from a bridge loan in year 3, complete with forged promissory notes, backdated wire confirmations, and financials that would make Enron blush. He wanted to tank my stock price right before the public offering. He wanted to prove Dad right. He wanted me crawling home. He never expected Judge Reyes to be married to a retired 2-star general who'd personally recommended Vanguard to DARPA. Recess was called. 30 minutes later, we returned with 4 bankers' boxes of truth, audited financials showing $18 million cash on hand, the redacted DARPA contract, forensic reports proving every document Dominic filed had been created 9 days ago on his home iMac. Dominic stood when his turn came, voice shaking. "She's my sister, Your Honor. Blood doesn't lie." "Apparently yours does," Judge Reyes replied, sliding the metadata report across the bench. "These forgeries are so clumsy I'm embarrassed for your counsel." She dismissed the petition, referred the case to the U.S. Attorney for Criminal Fraud, and added a line that made the gallery gasp. "Attempting to sabotage a critical defense contractor falls under national security statutes." "I hope you like federal prison, Mr. Ricci." Dominic went pale as death. Dad aged 10 years in 10 seconds. Mom actually fainted, someone caught her before she hit the marble. 6 months later, Dominic took a plea for years in Club Fed, a permanent felony, and the family's shopping mall empire quietly sold off to cover legal fees. Dad's name no longer opens doors in Manhattan, it closes them. I never heard from them again. Vanguard went public last quarter at a $4.2 billion valuation. We're opening a new R&D campus in Austin, and the Secretary of Defense sent a congratulatory note framed in my office. My son Mateo was born 3 weeks ago. I rock him at 3 a.m. under the soft glow of monitors that guard a nation, and I tell him the only story that matters. Some people are born into families that try to shrink you small enough to fit their fears. The trick, Mijo, is to outgrow the cage so completely they can't even find the door anymore. He gurgles, tiny fist around my finger. One day he'll build things they can't imagine. And when he does, I'll be in his corner, loud, proud, and impossible to ignore. That's what family is. Not the ones who bet against you. The ones who never needed convincing you'd win.